I'm gonna explain meditation in 10 minutes. Because you've heard you should meditate for peace of mind, for your nervous system, or to find enlightenment. But you might have struggled with it. So I'm gonna keep this really simple and fun. And you know what I'm talking is right, because I'm a random guy on the internet with long hair. So you can trust what I say. First of all, let's not call it meditation. It's a beautiful word, but there is so much baggage attached to it. You have to be in the right position. You have to spend hours a day doing it. There's so many different techniques. Just like the word God. I don't use the word God too much. I use source or life because it has less baggage attached, because then you have a clear mind. And with meditation, it's the same. We have a preconceived notion in popular culture and all these ideas that swirl around in our head. Let's just use a different word. Just call it being. So we're going to learn how to be. That sounds much easier, doesn't it? I need 20 years to practice how to be. That sounds absurd, right? So let's keep it simple. Now, how to meditate? First, realize that you live two lives. You are a human being, okay? There's a human part of you. And you know that part. That's the part that's out there in the world. You're doing, you're thinking, you're talking. You're caught up in thoughts, you're feeling, you get angry, you get anxious, you're happy. You know how to do human, right? You've practiced that. You don't need to practice being human. You've got the human part nailed down. All of us do. We are busy running around in the world doing stuff. That's the human part. Now comes the being part. Being part is the part that's just aware of all of this. When you sit down, you just take a breath. When you slow down, when you just look at nature, or when you meditate, then you're being. Okay? And most of us, we spend so much of our time doing, thinking, feeling, humaning, that we forget the being part. The quality of your thinking and doing is going to depend on your being. So just take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, take a minute a day to just be. Just be without running around, without thinking, just being. Now, out of that being, you're going to have a better quality and more conscious doing and humaning. Most of us, we are so caught up in our conditioning, in our thoughts, that when the world happens, when stuff happens, we just have a gut reaction. Sometimes we're so caught up in our emotions, we're like, I don't know what overcame me. Or someone says something to us and we immediately respond. And then we regret it. You've done that before. I certainly have. And that is because there's not enough being in our day. And meditation, again, let's not call it that because it sounds too complicated. Let's just be for a few minutes a day. And this is how you can imagine being. Let the world come and go. You just be. Let the thoughts come and go. You just be. Let the emotions come and go. You just be. You just rest in your being. Because what we usually do is a thought pops up and then we follow it. You know that when you have a conversation with someone and then you talk about something, and then you wind up in God knows what topic, and you're like, how did we ever get to that topic? And what usually happens, you think about that, and that leads you to this, and that leads you to the other thing, and suddenly you're somewhere completely else. And that happens to us on a daily basis, and that's what we call lost in a thought. It's like a dog on a leash. It just, God knows where he takes you. And that's why we just be. The thought comes. You don't follow it, you just be. It's like, we'll do that later. Thought, very interesting. We'll do that later. An emotion arises, and the same thing. We're usually so caught up in the emotion, like, oh, I'm angry, I'm anxious, he shouldn't have done that. We're so caught up in it, the emotion directs our actions. The emotion kind of dictates our behavior. So again, we just be for a moment. We just go back to our being and let the emotions come and go. Let the thoughts come and go. Let the whole world come and go. You remain. Think of it on a TV screen. You're the TV screen. That's your being. And does anyone still watch TV? Well, any kind of screen. And thoughts come and go. Programs come and go. Images come and go. But the screen is not affected. The screen is what allows these images to appear in the first place. And in the same way, your being is what allows these thoughts to come and go. They're the canvas on which thoughts and emotions appear. But your being, who you are, is more than these thoughts and emotions. But we're usually so caught up in them, and they direct our whole day and life, that we forget the being part. We forget that we are more. And it's just take a couple of minutes a day just to feel and know that you are more than the content of your mind. You are more than your thoughts. You are more than your emotions. Because how would your thoughts and emotions appear? They must appear somewhere. Where do they appear? In you? In your consciousness, in your awareness, in your being? It doesn't really matter what you call it, but they appear somewhere. They appear on the screen, and you are the screen. And just rest in that. It's very simple to do that. Don't do anything fancy. Many times I don't have time. It's just very busy. Life gets busy. And that's okay. Just during the day, just take a breath and then become aware. You're witnessing the breath. You're aware of the breath. You're thinking. Who is aware of the thoughts? You're feeling something, but you can feel and see the feeling. And that is the screen. That is the awareness. And just go back to that so you don't get caught up in it. Because most of us, we just completely lost in our conditioning. And a breath allows you to choose from presence instead of reacting from conditioning. So whether you sit down for 5 minutes or you take a 30-second, just a breath, and you come back to your being, whatever way is most convenient and fun for you. Ultimately, you have to choose what works for you and have fun with it, because the best meditation is the one you do, the one you have fun with. It's not to be taken seriously. It's not, because then the ego gets involved. Oh, I need to do more. I need to try harder. I need to try longer. Oh, look at them. They meditate and more techniques and all of that. It doesn't sound a lot of fun, right? It doesn't sound like too much fun. After all, we are all floating around on a rock made out of solar dust, and no one has any clue what they're doing. We're all doing the best we can. And throughout humanity, through thousands of years, we've learned techniques, and just use whatever works for you. No one is going to come and judge you at the end of your life saying you didn't use the right technique. What is important is that you feel good now, that you are more present now. And whatever allows you to do that is the right technique. You are the authority on your life and your spiritual progress. So the way I do it is really sit down for a couple of minutes and just be. Or take a breath and come back to your being. It takes 30 seconds. You do that a couple of times a day and you are more present. Have fun with this. It's not meant to be taken so seriously, so damn seriously. And that's what kept me from meditating. People took it so seriously, and I took it seriously. I didn't want to mess it up and all that mind stuff. Have fun with it. Because what's the purpose of meditation? Again, you see, then your mind is looking for a purpose. Why am I doing this? And then call it being. I'm just going to be. How hard is it to be? How hard do you have to try in this moment to just be? It's effortless. It's natural. It's who you are. But you're also human. Remember, 2 parts. You're doing lots of humaning. And if you do lots of humaning, you get lost in the world, lost in thoughts, lost in emotions. That's fine. That's part of the game. And just be consciously for a moment. Just go back to your presence, and that allows you to be a more conscious human. That's all it is. There are two parts of you, and we usually, the being part, like the human part, we do very well, but we neglect the being part, and that's just consciously being for a couple of minutes a day. That's all it is. That is my simple guide to meditation, which I don't call meditation because then it gets fancy and the ego gets involved and it becomes a competition. And just be. Just be for a while. That's all it is. Have fun with this. Report back how it went for you. And get the newsletter. Monday to Friday in your inbox. A message directly from life. Life reminding you of what this whole show is all about. What really matters, who you are and why you showed up on planet Earth. Thank you so much.